Did you know 7 out of 10 Americans struggle with credit card debt? And honestly, many of them can barely see an end in sight. And as a financial advisor of nearly 20 years, I've helped hundreds of clients implement strategies to eliminate their debt once and for all. Sign up for my new course, How to Pay Off Your Debt, where you will learn how to understand, manage, and take control of your debt so you can be free of the stress that it causes. Look, if someone's out there telling you they have some program to pay off debt that is both quick and easy, do me a favor, run, because it's not easy, but it can be simple. Take the next step in becoming debt-free. Sign up for our course today. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna speak for myself. Why do we want things? Why do I want things I actually don't need? Is it marketing? What is it? Because here at One Capital Management, we see constantly, every day, that we as human beings fall into wanting things that we may not actually need. And in doing so, we can actually cause something that actually is the bad side of this, which is debt. And so today I want to talk about how we manage debt of any amount. First and foremost, when we start this topic, I think it's really important that we define what debt is and define specifically good debt and bad debt. These are not definitions that I'm going to go through that serve for every purpose, but in my view, good debt has 3 things with it. It's low interest, it's for an asset, and it usually has some sort of tax benefit associated with it. So the one that comes to mind, there's actually 2 that come to mind, is mortgages and school loans. So the one particular I'm going to focus on here is mortgages. They're low interest, they are for an asset, the house, and the real estate itself, the interest on Schedule A deductions, whether you're itemizing, you can check with your tax advisor on this, you can get tax deductions for it. So in the world of debt or leverage, there are such things, believe it or not, that good debt can do for you. This is something that if you're watch a Dave Ramsey, for example, who I love, this is the one where I differ. I understand that arbitrage is a big tool that you can use if you use it right. Now, another example, as I mentioned, is student loans. Again, it's typically lower interest depending on your income. It can be deductible depending on your income, and it's for an asset, the asset being you. So those are 2 examples of what I'll call good debt. On the other side of things, let's talk about bad debt. And again, this is not something we want to dwell on here, but I want to talk about that debt because it would be debt that would be unsecured, meaning it's not backed by an asset. Typically, it carries a higher interest rate and really has no tax ramifications or deductions or benefits because of it. And you probably know where I'm going with this. It's typically things like credit card debts. These tend to be higher interest, no real tax benefits or deductions from them, and they're not really tied to an asset. This category I bring up because it typically falls into what the Diderot effect would describe as things we may think we want, but don't necessarily need. The original purpose for a credit card or credit was to have liquidity if certain events may happen that maybe you don't have enough cash on hand to support. Maybe it's big medical events or home repairs or things that just have to happen that you don't have the cash to do. Let's say you were reorganizing your living room and you bought a new couch. Well, now all of a sudden you realize that the picture frames or the mirrors or the rugs in that room don't go with it. So we find ourselves going to Home Goods or Target. Oh my gosh, Home Goods. I spent more time at Home Goods in the 8 years of being a homeowner myself, being married to my wife. I'm pretty sure I have a subscription to Home Goods, or maybe it's Target. Everyone, all the guys out there know Target's a big one for us too on the weekends. And buying up these items to match the newness level of your living room, it's a real thing. I'm bringing it up because it's actually an effect. We know this, we talk about it commonly with our friends, but it's actually an effect. It's an effect from a great example in the 1700s of Denis Diderot. So we fall into this trap of where we're all of a sudden we start to use money we really don't have. And that, my friends, is how we actually get into what I'll call the debt trap. We've all been there. Debt isn't something that some people have. It's something that most people have. So check these stats out. This is from debt.org, facts and figures about American debt. More than 189 million Americans have credit cards. By the way, in quick stats, that's over half of the US population. The average credit card holder has at least 4 cards, and that stat to me, amongst all of these stats I'm gonna go through, actually was the most crazy. Now, on average, each household with a credit card carries $8,398 in revolving credit card debt. The total US consumer debt is at about 13.8% or $6 trillion. Now, that number, that last number I just mentioned, includes mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards, as well as student loans. So put that in context for a second. Now I'm pointing this out largely because you're not alone. We are going to get things. That's a part of life. I'm not saying you're not supposed to live life. And a part of getting things as human beings, we're going to want to expand what we think we need, although we may not. We will get that new car and you'll get that new tire package. And for those that avoid that, kudos, because it's hard to do. Behaviors here are key. And I think sometimes we have to work within the context of the root that's causing this. And if you're continually getting back into debt, you want to make sure you bring that up with your advisor, because I can sit here and describe to you all of the debt reduction strategies, but if we're just putting a Band-Aid on an open wound, don't bother. I mean, I'm not trying to say just continue going into debt, but you really want to take care of the disease, not just focus on the symptom. Look, check out my course on paying off your debt. It's no secret that over 70% of Americans are in debt. And in order to achieve, I think, financial freedom, we have to eliminate our debt, because your debt could be holding you back. And you can find the link in the description box below. You can sign up today to take control of your finances. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that today. If you did, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single episode. And until next week, always remember to make your money matter.